Hello, Happy New Year to Lawana's Urban Voices family. It's a great day. It's the second of the year, and there's a couple of things I want to talk about to get our new year started off. First of all, have a prosperous new year. Whatever happened in 2023, it's over, it's done. We're going to start fresh with a clean slate. Another thing I wanted to talk about was this is what I want to talk about. Let's not get scammed in 2024. This um, foreign exchange student in Utah was told that he had to go into isolation and hide because he was in danger and somebody was after him. And this kid went into the Utah mountains to go camping and to hide out because he felt that his life was in danger. Then the scammers called his parents and said he had been kidnapped and they needed to wire some money in order to get their son back. The family, being that he's a foreign exchange student and they're in another country, did what they were told to do. They wired the money and didn't hear from the kidnappers. And then someone found the son camping and asked him what he was doing. And he told them, and it turned out it was all a scam to get his parents to get money from his parents. And they got about $80,000. Cyber kidnapping is the newest scam. Now, I do know we had a scam going on last year where a lot of seniors were getting these phone calls saying that your grandson, granddaughter was in jail. Can you wire the money to get their for their bail to get them out of jail? It was like $1,000, $2,000, and these old people felt like, oh my gosh, my grandchild is in jail. Let me wire the money. A few of the seniors were smart enough to call their grandchild and say, hey, what the heck are you doing in jail? And they were like, not in jail, grandma. What's up? And then we found out about that scam. So this year, I just want people to be aware of don't fall for your Netflix scam, your Home Depot scams, your Walmart scams, the ones that says congratulations, you won a prize. Let's not fall for any scams this year. And it's kind of these scammers are getting more resourceful because we are I mean, every time they start a scam and get paid from that scam, then we become more diligent and then they come up with a different scam. So let's try to be very cautious for 2024 so that no one gets scammed. Um, the last thing I want to talk about is something that's really close to home. Yesterday on the 1st, in my neighborhood, we had a murder. A 17-year-old young man lost his life um, and was shot. And our whole sheriff's department in my neighborhood blocked off the street. It was an active crime scene. They pretty much was there all day. Um, it was a nightmare. In my neighborhood, and I'm sure you guys can do it in your neighborhood, I can pull crime stats that goes on in my vicinity. So in the area where I live, in my zip code area, I can pull what crimes goes on in my neighborhood. And I can pull that every quarter. It's part of your open acts um, law, so anybody can pull the information if it's open records. And I normally pull the crime stats in my neighborhood just to see what's going on in my neighborhood. Um, I rather act on the air of caution if I know something is going on in my neighborhood versus being reactive or becoming a victim. So I just kind of want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. Normally, my neighborhood is pretty safe. We have a few porch pirates, a little bit of vandalism, people who leave their cars unlocked sometimes, get car theft. And some issues we have are domestic violence. And usually it's, a husband, wife, mother, son, something like that, just some type of domestic issue. So for the most part in our neighborhood, it is pretty safe. I personally haven't had any packages stolen off my porch. I do have security cameras around my house, of course, but I haven't had any bad experiences in my neighborhood. And I really do love where I live. But to have a murder exactly 1 block over from my house, the street that I walk down when I'm doing my afternoon walks. Um, it was very it was very heartbreaking and very sad. It turns out that this we don't have a lot of details, but the details are they threw a New Year's Eve party, and during the New Year's Eve party there was an altercation, and the young man was black, and um, the mother was on the news stating that her older son had already been killed a couple of years ago. She felt that this was due to gang violence, and that we have to figure out how to tackle gang violence, because a lot of young men, a lot of young black men, is what the mother said, are losing their lives to gang violence. And she just wanted something done. Now she's down two kids because of what she perceived to be a gang related type of altercation between her son. And my thing was, oh my gosh, we have gangs. I mean, I think there's gangs everywhere. Um, we don't have, I mean, we don't have a lot of that activity. At least it doesn't show up on our crime stats that I get every quarter that we have gang related activities. Um, my house is one block from the elementary school, and then the murder occurred 2 blocks from the elementary school. And they made sure in the news to say this happened near an elementary school, even though it didn't have anything to do with elementary school. They just wanted us to know that there's elementary school in the neighborhood, and we had a murder that at this time posed no immediate threat to anyone else in our neighborhood. It seemed to be an isolated incident. And I know of a couple of countries that have totally banned guns except for military and the police, where just no one carries guns, and they don't seem to have as many murders as we have in the United States. But in the United States, we have a right to bear arms. Um, and I don't know if banning guns is truly the answer, because I always feel like if someone wants to get a gun, they will get a gun, even if it's illegal. Um, so if you ban guns from legal citizens who are lawful in maintaining and owning their guns, what does that say to the criminals? Then will they be the only ones that have guns along with the military and the police? Um, I don't know what the answer is for us to try and deter some of this gun violence that we have in our country. I don't know what the answer is. I do know that we have to somehow get to our kids and explain to them the value of life, because I don't think our younger generation values life the way I valued life when I was a kid. Um, I don't think they value it the same way. People would get into fights, and one person would win the fight, the other person would lose the fight, but next day everybody was still alive. So um, now it's like you get into an altercation or a fight, and then somebody pulls out a gun and they shoot, and you wonder how the does in Texas, where I live, you can be 18 years old and purchase a gun. As long as you don't have a criminal record, you're allowed to go into the store and purchase a gun. They'll do a background check, and in I think it's 3 to 5 days, you own a gun. So you can legally purchase a gun at 18. Um, legally, 18 years old, even when you're not totally. But then again, I can't say that you're not mature enough to own a gun, because if you grew up hunting with your family, your dad taught you some pretty good rules, or your mom taught you some pretty good hunting rules, and you pretty much know how to handle a gun. So, what do you say about that? That's what I'm saying. It's so many different I don't even know what to say. There's so many reasons why Americans love their guns, and there's so many reasons why we shouldn't have guns. Um, I know there's a couple of states that are banning the concealed carry law and saying we don't want anybody carrying guns to these certain areas. Don't know how well that's going to work. Um, because if you carry a gun and you don't necessarily, unless they have metal detectors at every single door, you might not detect someone's gun, which then means what? They can still carry illegally, or I don't know. But the gun violence we have in our country, we got to do something about it. It is out of control, like out of control. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't. And I wish we could better educate our youth on, um, I guess, anger, how to control their anger, how to not let a altercation result in a death. There's so many incidents where people are getting killed and there's really no reason to kill them. I mean, for disagreements, stray bullets, people shooting up houses and end up shooting up the wrong house. So many different scenarios, but a lot of it is with younger people. Um, and I don't know how these younger people are getting access to guns unless the guns are already in the house. But then parents should be locking their guns up. But then when you lock your gun up and someone breaks into your house, how do you have time to go and unlock the safe or whatever it is and then go get the gun? By then, whoever broke into your house is probably brandishing a gun too, and they've already shot you. So you never even have time to get yours. So many different scenarios, so many different issues. It's hard to come up with one resolution on how we can deter gun violence in our communities. I am devastated that it happened in my neighborhood, but then it could have happened anywhere. Um, I'm sad that a child lost their life. The first murder of the new year in my county happened on New Year's Day in my neighborhood. And I'm just like, I'm floored. I don't know what to do. Um, it didn't, like I said, there is no immediate threat. So pretty much I can just keep everything moving. But you don't want to start, this is not how I want to start my new year, worrying about what's going on in my community. Um, Wherever you guys live, I recommend you going to your police department or your sheriff's department and requesting um, the crime stats that are available in your immediate area so you can know what's going on in your immediate area. Um, it's just helpful information to know so you can be better educated about how to protect yourself because crime is out of control and gun violence is out of control. Stabbings are out of control. Um, there was an incident where a man got out of his pickup truck and they beat the crap out of him. You know, a bunch of people. We have this gang mentality that there's no more one-on-one fights or two-on-two or maybe two-on-one. It's this thing that if one person is getting into an altercation, everybody else wants to jump into the altercation. It's out of control. Whatever is going on in our country, whatever hatred we have, whatever anger issues we have got to find a way to get that under control. Um, because this gun violence, this whole people losing their lives at such a young age. The young man who got killed in my neighborhood, his mom was on the news, and she said this was her second son to die to gun violence, and she said it was gang related. I don't know if that's true because we don't have any information yet from our sheriff's department. But she said but the mother said it was, and she was heartbroken. She's lost two of her kids. Senseless gun violence is how she put it, and it's heartbreaking because at 17 years old, what kind of argument should cost you your life? Hey, hell, at my age, what kind of argument should be so bad that you feel the need to shoot and kill? That's your only option. It should never be shooting and killing someone should never be your first option. There's got to be other ways to resolve these issues without the loss of life. That's all I'm saying. Um, as much as I want to start the new year off, as much as I'm going to start the new year's off happy, um, looking forward to having a amazing year, doing positive things. It's heartbreaking that in my neighborhood there was already a murder, and that it taints how nice our community really is. And wonder um it makes people wonder, is there any place to live where you can feel totally safe? Is there any place we can live where we can feel totally safe, that there is no crime going on in our communities? And if you live in a safe area, please let me know in the comments. If your crime stats come back and you guys have, pretty much no crime, please put that down in the comments. Don't give off the location. Just say that you did the check and your area is pretty good. Because um, I personally don't know how to process that exactly one block from my house. It was so close to home. It could have happened on my block, but one block over, we have this incident, this altercation and murder, and the police presence was, oh my gosh, it was unnerving. And to have them in our neighborhood all day, like the entire day, crime scene, mobile unit, coroner, um, the SWAT team, it was crazy. And not to have enough information to process it correctly is also crazy. Um, but I just want to tell you guys, we got to do better in 2024. We got to start teaching our kids empathy. We got to start making sure that they know that violence or that shooting and killing is not the answer. We got to come up with better ways. I don't think taking guns is the answer, but I don't know what else we can do to keep our communities, our neighborhoods, our children, our adults, to keep people safe, to keep safe people, or how do I put this? To keep lawful people from becoming a crime stat. So, how do we make that happen? You're lawful, you mind your business, no criminal record. How do you make it happen that you can just be safe and then, go out and enjoy everything? So, with that being said, thank you for always tuning in to Luana's Urban Voices. I appreciate you guys watching my videos, listening to my opinion, listen to me rambling, trying to make a coherent thought, because sometimes I just don't have words to describe what happened. And the heartbreak I feel for that mother who lost her son, and the sadness I feel that it happened in my neighborhood, so close to my house. I talk about crime can happen anywhere, criminals are, come in all colors, whatever. But when it happens so close, it reminds you that crime is everywhere and no one's really safe from it. even though you give yourself this false sense of security in your area, you never know. And that's why I pull up the crime stats just so I can see what's going on in my area. And I think with me knowing what type of crime goes in my area, it does provide me with this sense of security that I live in a pretty cool, great neighborhood. And then to have a murder like that, it just throws everything off. So you guys be diligent, do your homework, stay safe. Let's um let's begin 2024 with a bang, clean slate. We're going to be better versions of ourselves. No New Year's resolution, guys. Don't do that. Just be the best version of yourself that you can be. Be the best person, the kindest person, empathetic person, um, nicest, complimentary type of person you can be this year. Just be the most positive person for 2024. Try to make sure everything you do in 2024 is done with positivity, empathy, love, compassion, um, and just try to be the best version of yourself. That's what we want for 2024. None of these empty resolutions, just the best version that we can be of who we already are. And just add in that extra level of goodness to who you already are. So, with that being said, Happy New Year for 2024. I look forward to you guys' comments, any ideas, suggestions, anything you want me to look into or research, please let me know. I would love to speak on it. You know me, I have an opinion about everything. It's not always the right opinion or the best opinion, but it's always just my opinion. So don't take it personal. It's just my thoughts. So thank you guys for listening and tuning in. And you guys have a great day. Bye.